Man, well, I guess we clocked in. Hey, what's going on, party people? Now, if this is your first time here, welcome. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here. I go by the name of L'Esprit. I am a spiritual healer. And essentially, as a spiritual healer, what I truly do is that, excuse me, fuck, is that I help people to become mentally and emotionally balanced. So now, when I'm talking about helping you to become emotionally balanced, I'm not referring to, let's just say, you not having to raise your voice or just acting a certain way or behaving a certain way. It has absolutely nothing to do with that. In fact, that would be more of you having to wear a mask and pretending to act a certain way. And pretty much that's what society teaches us too, man. That's why no one is living their life based on who they are. You're living it based on who you should be. So therefore, that's what you're feeding into. So when you suppress yourself or you suppress your emotions, you also isolate your shadow. But anyway, I think I'm getting ahead of myself here. But as you can see in the title here, I'm going to be talking about how, your parents actually create you, you know, at the image, I mean, by their image. But most importantly, we're going to talk about the shadow self in it because ultimately, what we're truly dealing with here, since everybody's spirit, so it's either you're dealing with the real person or the person himself, or you're dealing with their shadow. But we'll get into that a little bit later. So, going back to the whole being emotionally balanced, it has everything to do with pretty much you understanding, first of all, what are emotions. Then you understand how yours is being created. Then you could identify, or why the fuck not you creating your own emotional pattern. I mean, that's part of mastery to have it balanced. You got to make it yours, right? And then in addition to that, I mean, and then at that point, if there's any blockages, that's what you will be talking about too when we're addressing the shadow self, which we will be very soon. Now, in addition to being emotionally balanced, I also help you now to become mentally balanced. The same principle apply here. The whole underline, of balancing anything or to for you to master anything, you have to understand how the shit works. And then from there you make it yours. So, I mean, how can you be mentally balanced if your mind is being controlled by someone else? So therefore you have to understand what mind control is. In other words, you got to understand how is your mind is being trained for you to think. Because technically that's what society is doing for you. They teaching you how to think instead of pretty much providing you the space for you to what I'm saying, for you to just be. And because of that, everybody's wearing a mask. Now, not to get too far away on my head. I mean, not too far ahead of myself here. But again, when we're going to be talking about the shadow self, it is at that moment. Once you separate your true self, and now you, let's just say, you're worshiping idols, which is a third person. It's all about the way you act. I mean, nothing that's relate to your personal gain, internal personal gains, but it's based on more on your facade. It's a system now that is based on validation, on third party. And that's why everybody's living their lives trying to impress somebody else. But now I'm saying all of that to say, for you to become mentally balanced, you have to be able to see that aspect of your society as well. So I guess what I'm truly saying too, it's a little more than just, helping you how to think better, but it's also you delving more into yourself and having more. of a to understand yourself a little bit more. That's why now you have to deal with the occult as part of you getting your mental aspect, balance, and your emotions too. I mean, you're still gonna have to deal with the occult both ways, either way, because the occult, what the occult simply means, I'm going to talk about that a little bit deeper. But what the occult is dealing with the hidden side of you, meaning the occult allow you to understand you have a conscious mind, you have a subconscious mind, right? So now the subconscious mind is what you don't see. That is the hidden side of you. So now what the occult is doing now is teaching you about that, and by that deeper aspect of yourself. In other words, it's just it's helping you to have a deeper understanding of who you are. That's what the occult does, which is a part of spirituality. Excuse me, which is a part of spirituality, because everything stems from spirituality. Because when we're talking about spirituality, essentially, it is the story of the spirit, meaning your story, whether you're conscious of it or not. Like the universe is alive, man. Like there's life around you. We are surrounded by life, or if you want to call it electromagnetic, whatever type of field that shit is. You know what I'm saying? That's how we can use electricity. This is some real shit. Again, this is your life. I mean, whether you're conscious of it or not. So, but anyway, going back for you to understand how to be emotional, like that's why you have to understand about your culture too, because all of these things are pretty much shaping you, or making you think a certain way. They're training you to think a certain way. Where, well, if you were born in America, if you're an American, well, this is what you got to do, and that's pretty much what society does in a nutshell. So, for you to become fully mentally balanced, you have to deal with that. You have to understand that. So that way you could, for you to be mentally balanced, you know what I'm saying? You train your mind to think your way, which is in alignment with you. That's why we all came here, have different missions, right? We're doing different things. We're going through different paths. But anyway, in a nutshell, that's pretty much what I do. Now, if you coming back, niggas, come on now. Come home, baby. It's good to have you. You know what I'm saying? You already know what this is. It's always love. We're always breaking bread, and, what I'm saying, and sharing the blood of Christ. Hmm. We're having our supper, right? So now, as part of my routine, guys, you already know, I'm going to talk to you a little bit about spirituality. I'm going to keep it short because we need to delve into the whole shadow thing. As I stated before, I'm not sure if you're just now coming in or if you were following all along. Spirituality is nothing but the story of your story. And then as you learn about you, if you were to ask yourself, who am I? As you learn about yourself, then you have the Kabbalion now that would help you to understand. When you get underneath it all, then you realize you're what? A living mind. Another way of saying that, you're a spirit. But for you to get there, I mean, I'm just giving you the overall, of course, that's when you would have to get out of certain bubbles, the Christianity bubble. You would have to look at it on a whole bigger scale. It really comes down to men praising God and God helping men, right? So, regardless of what the religion is, you're always going to find that type of aspect of a man. Either their sacred text is it's telling them how, for them to find their better selves. Because when you're seeking for God, you're truly seeking for a better you, a greater you. I mean, obviously, if you are part of him, I mean, I just don't want you to get lost here. You know what I'm saying? If you are part of him, well, he's a bigger you. How do you want to look at it? I think there's another way they say it too. It's like you're not a drop in the ocean. You are the ocean in a drop or something like that. But that's dope too. That's pretty much what I'm saying here too. So essentially, unfortunately, there's been a few misconception when we're talking about spirituality. Due to ignorance, a lot of people always look at it as something that's outside of them. Therefore, it's like, I don't even know, how do you even look at you? Maybe as a machine, maybe as hey, anyway. But all spirituality now has is doing it's telling you that story in many different ways, different levels. You know, that's your story. So you don't have to be conscious for you to be a spirit. You're already a spirit. You need to be conscious of you being a spirit, though. that's that's what that's the name of the game. Then again, as I was mentioning before, then now you have the occult, those sacred texts, the hermetic, the hidden knowledge. All of these things is all referring to the occult in terms of, those are the type of knowledge you got to seek for it. You got to look for it. It's not going to come to you. You got to go within. That's why this type of knowledge cannot be approached logically, nor academically either. Obviously, because a big part of academics is it's the reasoning part of it. And here's something else too. That's why this type of life, you as a spirit, you got to be alive. That's why this is for the ones. This is for the living. You got to be alive. As part of you knowing who you are. That's you coming to terms. That's you being alive. That's you radiating here. So now the idea of thinking spirituality is totally outside of you, it's total ignorance because you were trained to look at yourself as something else, not as you. So understanding that part of society, that's why for me, it's like I I don't even want to be recognized. I mean, if I were to be recognized by society, that in itself would be a shame because it's not worthy. You without you, I mean, you have no use. You're gonna build your character based on you being in alignment with you. That's when you stand for something. That's a man of faith. That's a man of God. But you can't do that without you. And even the whole idea too of somehow you have to depreciate yourself to be politically correct, that's bullshit too. The fuck? I mean, you mean to tell me God sacrificed his own son for me so I could look at myself as nigga, I ain't shit. Come on, man. And we're gonna get into that too. How do you not praise who you are? Praising yourself has nothing to do with you not being humble. In fact, the whole definition of what being humble is, you have your, let's just say, your qualifications. You don't put them above someone else. In other words, me being humble would mean I know that I am a God, but I don't look down on you. And that's why the monks, they all do the namaste. And they do it to people who they know who are not conscious, just so they know I'm in alignment with you, with God. I see you. You don't have to look at yourself. I see you. So it's that's humble like a motherfucker. That's you accepting a dumb motherfucker around you. Hey, the nigga's dumb, man. He's just dumb. That's it. No hard feelings. That's it. I don't have to treat him any lesser than anyone. That's it. You know what I'm saying? It's a different state of mind. You know what I'm saying? This is seeing us as a whole. But again, the whole idea of you gotta somehow put yourself down for you to look good, that's depressing, man. That's depressing. But anyway, just had to be said. I had it on my chest. Had to get it off, baby. Had to get it off. So now going back to the whole shadow part. So essentially, just to summarize the whole spirituality shit, it's really you. And what we're doing as you're learning about the scriptures or you're learning about the sacred text, all this is down telling you is information about your, let's just say, darker side. In that case, it simply means, well, not darker, your dark side. That simply means the part that you don't see, not darkness in terms of, because there's light in that darkness. When they say out of the darkness comes the light, they're referring to that light of you that is not, let's just say, on the outside. That's why if you know anything about your subconscious mind and your conscious mind, well, your subconscious mind is more conscious than your conscious mind. The aspect of you that you don't see, it's more alive than the part of you that you actually see. And Theo Cole also talk about that, but it's all. I mean, I love the language too. You know what I'm saying? But that would be if we're looking to get a little bit dramatic, a little more. But I'm just gonna keep it hood. Nigga, we're gonna dumb the shit all the way down to the best of my ability, nigga. I ain't gonna get fancy on y'all. I will look pretty on you motherfuckers, but I ain't gonna be fancy on you niggas. You get it? But anyway, oh come on, man. We gotta radiate who we are at all times. See, at all times. Again, spirituality is you. Now, let's delve into, and just so you guys know too, like I have tons of recordings, just in case if you felt like maybe I didn't touch on too many things when it comes to spirituality, trust me, I talk about that many a times, and you might want to check out the other recordings. But bam, now we're getting back to the whole aspect of you being trained, not for you to follow who you are, but for you to be something else. So at that age, or at that, that is the foundation of the society that we're living in. That's what makes it, that would be the matrix. If we're really talking about the matrix, that would be exactly what the matrix is. It's the whole shadow aspect of yourself, a world that is outside of you that you have created. So you're technically living in the motherfucking abyss, in the belly of the beast. Well, the minute you start acting that way, you're part of the belly of the beast, baby. You're in there. You know what I'm saying? It's okay if you're in there. That's fine. That's fine. You have guys like me. We do what we do. You know what I'm saying? When you hear the sound, you'll know. You'll know. You'll just know. You'll be just fine, baby. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. So now we're talking about, you having to suppress your own feelings. And as you're suppressing yourself, again, the shadow self, now it's it's sort of like it cannot do what it's supposed to do now. Now your shadow self is gonna go against you. Well, what truly is happening though, your shadow self is really looking to communicate with you, but you don't get it. You don't have a connection with it. Why? Because you have suppressed the self. That's when you become your true self, your shadow is good. Everybody's good. You are in perfect harmony. Your whole self come together, your ego and all that shit. You embrace all of it. You haven't embodied it. Now your spirit now has materialized. You gotta be the gods walking among men. You gotta be that. So now here's the deal. Now that you understand that this is all spiritual, all mental. Now, when we're talking about doing the shadow self, your shadow work, but most importantly, a lot of people are pretty much living in their shadows too. Because when you separate your true self, you choose not to follow yourself, then you're going to become or act or live your life for a certain image. You have totally destroyed yourself, but most importantly, what the fuck was I going to say? I think I was going to make a point with that. But again, you have no connection with yourself, so therefore you don't have access to your shadow. But here's the shit. I mean, you're not having a healthy communication with your shadow, but your shadow is always there. Now you're living in your shadow also because you repressed the self, and that shadow now becomes the image that you're living for instead of you. And this is, in a nutshell, this is our society. That's what we have. So, with that being the case, so in reality, there's a lot of us who have not done the shadow work. So now what you're dealing with as you become, you know, the Christ like, or as you're going through your journey too, then you're gonna realize is if all of them are spirit, then you're dealing with their shadows. It's all spiritual. It all depends on how you're looking at it. When you're saying someone is being in denial, some motherfuckers are delusional and all that shit. What do you think is taking place? Obviously the motherfucker's delusional because he's not in connection with self. That's the alignment. So you're looking at it sideways. I'm saying that to say, that's when like the malfunction comes from. So now you have your pain. You're being triggered. You're not addressing your pain. You know what I'm saying? It's like, and it's getting worse. Then your shadow is getting bigger and bigger. Then you're becoming more fucking arrogant and all that shit. Like no one can tell you shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's when you see these are the motherfuckers, like, you know what I'm saying? They'll get out of their way to let you know they are the shit deep inside because you're not the shit. But now you build up your fucking shadow. Now it has become your fucking monster or your master. That's what we're dealing with. I see that shit all day, every day. Even last night in itself, man, I was, what I'm saying, I was chilling with a few niggas, and there was this nigga, man. It was just his shadow talking. Hey, shit, nigga, how do you do that? That nigga self was nowhere near, man. You know what I'm saying? And then he was talking about that money talk. You know what I mean? This nigga was nowhere to be found. He was living in his shadow. But now the thing about the shadow, it pretty much permeates in everything that you do. So now let's just say, like what we do as parents, we create our kids to our own fucking image. When technically, let's just say technically, right? I'm teaching you how to be good. This is how you got to behave. It's in accordance to my image. Do you see what I'm trying to say here? And that's how God created you too, dog. To his liking. You know what I'm saying? And damn, you know what I'm saying? Shit. No wonder why this nigga loves me. He see himself. Come on, man. Do not fall short, baby. I'm saying, don't drop it. Keep going. If you got to slow down, but make sure you don't stop, baby. Even if you got to pause, that's all good too, nigga. You don't want a total stop. Yeah, that's what you don't want to do. A hard stop. Nah, you good. Keep going. When you see people who, let's just say, are being in denial, that's their shadow self. And when they, let's just say, being triggered, they literally lose it. You know what I'm saying? These niggas literally lose it. That's why they wouldn't even remember what took place or me. Nah, I definitely didn't do that. Well, nigga, we got you a camera. Who's that? Nah, man. Nah, this is your signature, nigga. You forged your signature. Nah. You know what I'm saying? And you're like, God damn. You know what I'm saying? How can you be so blind, man? Can you be so blind? I mean, hey, I guess once you blind, you blind. Well, we here to give the sights then. You know what I'm saying? We got to do realignments. They were sleeping on me. How my man said, now they having nightmares about me. I'm saying, yo, who said that shit though? What's my man's name? But anyway, you know what I'm saying? He used to sleep. You know what I'm saying? They used to sleep on me. Now you having nightmares about me, motherfucker. You gonna get what you asked for, nigga. Over here, satisfaction guarantee, nigga. No, man. I play to win. I play to win. You know I always win. You know it. You say it too. This guy's always winning. This is not gonna be any different, nigga. You got me fucked up, man. You got me all the way fucked up. But you gonna find out though. Ask about me. What you gotta do? You gotta ask about me, nigga. You gonna find you. I know you finding out. You know what I'm saying? No, you got to, because this is for you. This is tailored. This is specifically made for you. And I will make sure you get everything you deserve. Hey, don't worry about it. It's on the house. Nigga, don't you worry about it. That one there, that's on the house. Anyway, let's get back to regular, you know what I'm saying? So, guys, we're talking about now, you have to be able to identify, someone's shadow. But of course, you have to do the shadows work yourself. And as you're doing so, the more alignment you become with yourself, the higher your consciousness. Because now, you open up your third eye, you're doing all of these things. What you're doing is you're becoming more receptive to, let's just say you want to call it the electromagnetic field, but to that consciousness. It's that little thing that we didn't have, we got, that makes a difference. Those aha moments. Those are consciousness, like levels of consciousness. You know, that's why academically cannot do it for you. Yes, you will exercise your intelligence. I'm not neglecting that part of it at all. But until you have the conscious, the book is not going to mean anything. Because you're the one validating the book. The book doesn't validate you. Not at all. I've read books, and trust me, I'm pretty good on my nouns and pronouns. Yeah, nigga, I'm that smooth, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But when you're not in that space, regardless of how logical it may be, or how much you know the structure of a sentence, verb, and all that shit, you don't have the consciousness for it. That's why you have a teacher every time you go to a higher level. The teacher is not teaching you how to read the book. You already know how to read. Now you may have a question. Now we're talking about the understanding. That's how you are. You got to be the one validating the book. That's why you can never, what I'm saying? That's why meditation. Now, if you study the occult, our ancestors teach us ways that would help us to awaken our mind. That's when certain ritual would have to be done. You open up your third eye. In Haiti, we call that shit la tête, which is washing your head. The whole thing is, we're trying to open you up to more energy, to more light, and you gain more consciousness. That's why if you're not in a certain level, certain books, regardless of you learning, or let's just say English is your first language, or you sound good. I said, good English, dog. You know what I'm saying? You're speaking good English out there. All right. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you're not in the space to get it, you'll never grasp it. So in other words, what I'm saying is there is more to just learning how to read and write. There's understanding, there's levels of consciousness, there's a lot of other things that comes into play that has to be part of all this is a total package. And that's why you'll see, even if you know how to read or write, nigga, you're gonna need a teacher. Yes, we all do. We all do. Now, of course, you don't have to follow anybody or losing yourself for anybody. That's not what we're saying. You know what I'm saying? The goal of having a teacher is not for you to suck his dick. The teacher is a guide, man. It's like if I were to be your teacher, I just know a little bit more. So I'm holding again the mirror of wisdom. I have more guides for you, but you're gonna have to walk. You know what I'm saying? This is your show, and this is my show too. This is the part that I handle. Oh, you're gonna have to walk the walk, baby. You know what I'm saying? Oh, listen, I'm gonna tell you how to walk it best. But once I'm gonna give you the music, but you're gonna have to play the song. I'm giving you the notes. You gotta play the song. Oh, it's different when you're playing the song though. Now you become those notes. You become those notes now. Now that's how powerful the notes are. Now you're giving life to the notes. Hmm. Come on now, guys. That aspect of yourself, or call it the higher self with the lower, they got to come together. But anyway, the minute you suppress the self, now you also suppress your shadow. So when you have these people who are being triggered, but that's because they are operating on their shadow. So now fast forward, you have your parents who are raising you now. So the fucked up part about it, like okay, let me just use myself. Like I came from a family like my mom was a fucking narcissist. It was a lot of a fucking abuse, man. When if it wasn't verbal, it's definitely physical. You know what I'm saying? Has no way out of it. I mean, obviously not for me, but in terms of how I was trained to think. Oh man, yeah, we definitely, what I'm saying. Oh, we turn water into wine. Oh, we flipped the whole shit, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? We changed the whole pattern. But I'm saying that to say I was being raised or being trying to, it was as my mom's shadow that was guiding, that was shaping me. That's why a lot of kids, right? There's something called osmosis. What that is technically, that's why they tell you your kids, they don't never hear what you tell them. That's why you want to be the best example for them too. You got to be the best example for them, because you are creating their reality too. That's why raising a kid is all about too. This shit is mental like a motherfucker. Like I'm dealing with my daughter and my son. It's like, yeah, oh man, it's definitely that way. So that's why you gotta walk that shadow, that dark side. You gotta be in connection with it. You gotta know what's happening there. So now going back to, her being a narcissist, and then now her shadow, that's what I'm being raised by. So it's almost like, because you have your shadow and you got yourself. So on the outside with the people she was talking, how most of your parents are. They look okay to everybody else. And in the house is a whole different story. So you're dealing with different aspect of that person here. I mean, it's almost like these niggas, they drop their shadows on you. They drop the shadow on you, and then now you got to deal with it. And in that osmosis, uh, stuff that I was talking about in terms of we pick up what our parents does. That's why, because I'll give you a perfect example, and I'm just going to use myself. I remember early on, probably like in my 20s and shit, 2021, I remember I used to say, yo, man, I will whoop my kid's ass too. So, I was saying that because that's what I knew. Obviously, we had to, what I'm saying, destroy and rebuild. We had the coupe tête and boule kai. We had to destroy and rebuild, baby. But anyway, so when you're dealing with that kind of, I mean, so now you tend to. That's why a lot of people they just accept abuse, man. That's why they would be abused by their mom and dad, and then they'll say, you know what, man, that's my mom, that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? It's like this nigga's validating the pain. And if that's okay with you, guess what you're gonna do? You're going to reproduce the same stuff because it's okay to you. We only change the shit that we know that's not okay to us. If that's okay to you, so you're gonna do your kids the same way too. And you just pick that up, especially if you didn't go through any kind of growth. So now you're repeating what mommy and daddy did. So it's like that's pretty much being in the fucking abyss. It's like you're being ruled by their shadow. Now their shadow is ruling your shadows. It's like it's all it's shadowy up in this motherfucker. Until now, what you have a black sheep. Let's just say in my case, the dude now who would not accept that. So, and then they understand that too. So that's where the conflict comes in too. You know what I'm saying? That's why my mom was always competing with me and me not even knowing that. Because of her shadow, she was dealing with my shadow, but I was not aware of my shadow self. You know what I'm saying? That's how some motherfuckers could see you. They're like, yo, this nigga's a good ass nigga. You know what I'm saying? Or they knew, I'll give you a perfect example. I was never the guy who's gonna follow other people. That's not happening at all. I mean, I'm not gonna do it just because everybody's doing it, man. I mean, shit. I look at myself a certain way. You know what I'm saying? I take a few accountability, nigga. So I always had questions. I always wanted to get outside, like, I wanted to see the bigger picture. I didn't want to go with just the flow. Because dealing with their shadows, that's what they do. They just go with the flow. They don't question it. So when you become a black sheep, let's just say in your family, so now you are the one who, in so many words, if you, okay, for lack of better terms, you become the chosen one. And guess what? And that's that Jesus story. What happens with Jesus, that's what's taking place in your life. Now society is crucifying you, then all of that story is it's what you go through as you are evolving consciously or as you're becoming the Christ. And those are pretty much the different realms that you have to slay your dragon and all that good stuff. That's when all that metaphysical shit could fit in, and you know, you sound good, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But going back to, as so you being, now the conflict that will be taking place. Now, again, for me, it was more like, okay, so it's almost like I, I am a trouble kid. And that's how they always look at me too. Not necessarily because I was getting myself into trouble, but I was different. Do you see what I'm saying? I always wanted to sit among the elders. I wanted to know what are they talking about, and when I kind of overheard and the logic, the words that they were talking about, listen, man, it used to give me life. How do you think I got here? And the wise one would tell him, let him be, let him be. You know what I'm saying? Yo, you're gonna be a good one. You hear me? I go like, yes, sir. Sir, talk about it. You know what I'm saying? I always was getting my blessings, man. So I was pretty much cut on a whole different level. Inherently, I can't do it. There's no way I'm gonna just follow society just because, man. It's not in my genes. I gotta suck my own dick. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. I mean, what I'm saying? That's where I feel the best. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, if you don't feel that way, guess what? It doesn't matter. Because I stay in my feelings. That's where I feel the best, the most. Well, that's where I'm gonna be, nigga. What you want me to do? I'm saying, don't blame me, blame the ice that I see. You know what I'm saying? Blame the treasure that I see, man. When you see that treasure, listen, man, I'm in alignment with it. And nothing greater than that. You see what I'm saying? So having that, like, how can I compete with a motherfucker, man? You know what I'm saying? You ain't no competition for me, dog. You know what I mean? Because I'm too much into myself. Do you get it? Not really. It literally mean nothing to me, bro. They got me all fucked up, bro. They got me all fucked up. They got me all fucked up, yo. Mm-mm. Oh, they gonna count me in. They counted me out. Oh, no way, baby. You were slipping on me. Well, now you're having nightmares about me. So now dealing with somebody else's shadow, you know, I mean, ultimately, that's what we're doing. But it's even stronger, within the family stuff. And when we're talking about you doing your shadow work, that's what you're gonna have to deal with. These are exactly what you'll be dealing with. That's why it's important for you to understand and embrace your whole self. And by you doing so, that's how you get to the bottom of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Because believe it or not, in the occult, they call, let's just say, healing your wounded child. That's just you coming to term with those early emotions, that you were suppressing. That's why you have to open up. It's the total opposite. You don't separate. You put all of them together. They all come together. The minute you separate it, that's where the illusion is. Right then and there. But anyway, it's important as all of us will be going through this path, doing the shadow work, understanding, you becoming in alignment with your own shadow, but also having the ability to identify other people's shadows. Because when you see people that are being jealous, envious motherfuckers, haters, this is their shadow, bro. That's their monsters. It's out of their, like, there's no balance. You see what I'm saying? But when there's love, it's different. When there's a higher state of consciousness, you know who you are. Why competing with anybody? In fact, it's the total opposite. You appreciate somebody else for their differences. You know what I'm saying? Nigga, I appreciate how different you are from me. In fact, I was able to learn a few shit. How is that a bad thing? So again, this is me trying to get into the depthness, I guess, of the shadow, because it goes really deep. You really got to travel down that memory lane or those experiences, those different world that you had already created, those different aspect of you to get to those early emotions. And how you get more down there by having more consciousness. That's why you got to go down for you to go up. Like you understand a little something more. Oh, maybe that's probably what it was. Oh, then now I remember it was that night. Bam, 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 bam. And I was disappointed. I said, man, fuck everybody. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You have a whole list of fuck yous, I should say. Then now you not being in alignment with yourself, your shadow now has overpower you. Your insecurities can clearly be shown. Well, for those who have the sight. Of course, you're going to use your insecurities to look good, like it's your protection. But for those of us who have the sight, I'm saying, I, yeah, you can have it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want none of it. It's all yours. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at nigga. It's all yours. I don't want none of it, man. I ain't buying nothing. Not interested. But I know it for what it is. So again, the aspect of us, the shadow self, is strongly like, The best way to get to your shadow is by you getting in alignment with yourself. That's why you gotta love yourself. That's why you must praise yourself. You know, and it's just again, this is also, this is our spirituality, our story, our life experiences. That's what this is. Us having this experience right now. Make it count. Sad. Hey, make it count, man. Because if you're gonna go to vacation somewhere, nigga, you make sure you party. You hear me? You give it the best out of you. When you know. That's why a lot of us were not concerned. You know what I'm saying? I show up with my little motherfucking Haitian hat and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? No shoes on. You know what I mean? Like that nigga shit. So for the nigga shit, you know what I'm saying? Just a little thing, you know what I'm saying? I just covered this part here. Ah! You know what I'm saying? That's how I'm showing up, baby. Shit. I'm saying you can't tell me nothing. You cannot tell me nothing. But also, I wanted you guys to understand, like dealing with somebody, or dealing with which, I mean, that's what the spiritual war, if you want to call it that. Now, that's where you have what is called evil versus the light. Those are the people who refuse to change, the narcissist, you know what I'm saying? Those sociopath, the people who are killing people for money. I mean, these are all these motherfuckers. They're all of them. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine? Like I was telling you guys, it's like, how do you have your mother being in competition with you? That's what she knows. There's no sense of self. Because just because you're a woman, like I tell women, that obviously niggas, that doesn't mean you are in your femininity. It has to emerge out of you. Everybody got to put the work in. You're not the prize until you become the prize, nigga. Listen, man, you're not the prize until you become the prize. And that's how it works for every fucking body. You're not the prize until you become the prize. I don't give a fuck whose dick you sucking. You can suck all the dick in the world, nigga. Until you become the prize, you know what I'm saying? You'll never be the prize. So again, it all comes back to the self. So that's why anything outside of the self, man, it's like you missed the target, dude. You missed the fucking target. You're not in alignment. You know what I'm saying? And you're gonna miss the target, bro. Because you're aiming right. Because the aim and the target's gotta be one. That's how you don't miss. That's the only way for you not to miss, King. You know what I'm saying? My niggas. Yeah, come on, man. Stop playing. So again, so we're talking about, you know what I'm saying? And then there's a tendency of us that does it naturally, just because you used to get your ass whooped. Now you feel like that's the best thing for you to do. That's why we brag, I got my ass whooped. Look where it got me. Usually, okay, you're not a gangster. Like, were you supposed to be or something? Am I missing anything here? Like, what the fuck, nigga? You know what I mean? Or because I've heard some fucking comedians talk about that. Like, because I don't know ass whooping that teach you how to do stand up, nigga. Do you see what I'm saying? If you're doing stand up or you following your dreams, and your mom used to whoop your ass, it's not the ass whooping, my nigga. It's you following. Maybe that's what it took. I mean, I don't know how it would take that for you to do that. Because abuse is abuse, man. Like you're gonna have to put yourself in it. That's what I'm trying to say. So let's just say you used to whoop your ass, and then now, okay, you playing basketball, or you being fucking a fucking comedian. You applying yourself into it. That's why you're on motherfucking stage. Do you see what I'm saying? And unfortunately, sometimes a lot of people don't get to see the bigger picture. Here again, you're dealing with their shadow self, although they may not do the same thing but they have that behavior naturally and they're not even aware of it. It's almost like you always see parents that are talking down to their kids, and then when they're talking to other people, it's a whole different conversation. So that's the fake self out there, and then the real self, which is the shadow self. These are the motherfuckers you need to watch out for. But obviously, that's the nigga at home. Nigga, that's the nigga at home. That's what I had to deal with. So now, and of course, if the verbal abuse doesn't work, we're gonna go with the physical abuse. If that doesn't work, well, I'm gonna fuck his life up. If that doesn't work, then I'm gonna kill him. It's all shadow based, all out of hate, no self love. It's that abyss. If you want to call that, those are the dark ones or evil ones. That's what the evil is. And that's why when we talk about self love has to do with you embracing the non physical qualities of you. And when you do that, now you look for that non physical part of other people. That's why you got to love yourself to love somebody else, because now you're not looking at what they look like, because you looked at yourself a little more than what you look like. Then you want more out of that person, man. See, that's why I'm telling y'all niggas, man, you're gonna have to raise that frequency, baby. You know what I'm saying? That's where the self love comes in, but you got to be in alignment with you. So again, just to go back to the shadow self, a lot of sociopath, a lot of fucking criminals, what I'm saying? Their minds are fucking twisted that way. The envy and all that shit, the fucking total ignorance. That's what mastered their life. That's what you're dealing with when you're dealing with a sociopath or there's energy vampires. And obviously they're not of the light. That's why they don't look for the light. So now here you are being created by the image of your parents, because now their shadow self is teaching you, what I'm saying, how to be. And of course, For you to be a good kid, you have to be receptive to that. And if you're not being receptive to that, well, you're a problem child. The whole black sheep thing, that's what it means. So I'm trying to paint the picture for you to see that what you're truly dealing here is you dealing with, it's all spiritual. You're dealing with people's shadow self. A lot of times, like my mom, you can see it was somebody who was not loved, or she felt like she never was loved. She can't give you what she doesn't have, so she got to create me at her own fucking image. That's why among us, she wanted us to compete. Like it was three brothers, we got to compete against each other. That's to do what? Any kingdom that's divided, man. And you don't even have a kingdom, nigga. Cannot stand. You know what I'm saying? Because a kingdom, hey, it's got to stand, man. That's what makes it a kingdom. And if it's divided among itself, come on, man. So that was truly self destruction. Well, that's the whole abuse, too. It's self destruction. Oh, this shit is a lot deeper than it looks like. That's why you're dealing with those sociopath. Like for me, I tap into their fucked up mind. You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit. I guess at one point I gotta get fucked up too. That shit's fucking me up too. Like, how do you get it so wrong? How is it so like? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And ironically too, they may be looking at me that way too. Who knows? Obviously, because my lights now, because I'm looking at things, I'm looking for self, I'm being in alignment with self, then I become an automatic problem. You know what I'm saying? But they really know the truth though. They know they love me. Like they show their love in a weird way. And that's weird. Like that's why you're sick mentally. Stupid motherfuckers, man. Sick ass motherfuckers, man. You know what I'm saying? The sociopath. They refuse to change, to evolve. My mom is the type, she would only talk to some of the people she knows she's more knowledgeable to. She has more knowledge than. So now she can always feel important because now, instead of, do you see what I'm saying? It's so trashy, bro. So now, what I'm saying? That's why they always got to put you down so they could feel better because they got nothing in. And all of that way of looking at it, just so you guys know, it came out of society too. You being something that you're not. So these niggas, they're truly playing the game. That's how society's getting you, and that's why society there's so much envy, jealousy, all that shit's happening around you. That's how you're supposed to be honest. That's how you're supposed to be. That's why you don't love. You don't even talk about love. Everything is on paper. You're not living it. You know what I'm saying? You fall in love with somebody's image, but not with that person. And you cannot allow that person to see you too, because no, you want them to look at that image of you. Nah, nigga, look right here. This is who I am. You know what I'm saying? Wow, that's destruction. And then that's what you have now. Two people coming together. They faking for the Joneses, and you know. And that's when my kid is doing this, your kid is doing that. Oh yeah, he's in college. Yeah, the other one is she's sucking dicks. Yeah, the other one, she's a hoe. Oh shit, yeah, you won. Hmm. Yeah, she's a hoe. Oh, Maria. ¿Qué pasa, Maria? But anyway, niggas, let's get back to the subject at hand here. So now you're dealing with that type of shadow. You know what I'm saying? That's what I had to overcome, man. And being of the light, and you know, like they say, when the student is ready, I had to get myself ready. And then, the teachers appeared. It's all part of the growth. Again, you got to be in alignment with you. That's why it all start with following your bliss. Know your talent. Follow that. If you love it, okay, follow it. The mystery is in the fucking details. As you go through, listen, man, it's like you're gonna find more keys. Keep going. Keep going. Trust me, baby. You thought I stopped? Oh, come on now. Nigga, I will never stop. I cannot be stopped. Oh, you gonna know. You know what I'm saying? Oh, you gonna learn today, baby. You gonna learn. You know what I'm saying? Pay attention, stupid ass nigga. You gonna learn, nigga. Oh, you gonna learn today. Hmm. Yeah, you're learning today. So now, in so many words, that's how, like 500 years of slavery, or even, having that type of mentality, it's all part of spirituality too. Because as you becoming a spirit, that's why I was telling you guys, understanding about culture, because what you're truly doing is you're having a deeper understanding of your reality. And as you're getting deeper into truly who you are, then, that's when you will know the truth, which is you are spirit. And that's going to set you free, because you're the creator of everything that you do, conscious or unconscious, however you want to look at it, however you choose to do it. But the minute you realize you are the creator, nigga, listen, you're gonna find the best dreams. Listen, you're gonna treat yourself better. Listen, you're gonna treat yourself a whole lot better, because you understand now. Oh man, this is us. All right, all right, man. Is that what this is? Yeah, man. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. And now you're able to see beyond the veil. and but anyway, dealing with the shadow self, but most importantly, man, like your whole family structure, that type of experience plays a big part in you and your shadow self. So, when you become conscious, those are the process you have to go through. Those are the shadow work that has to be done. That is part of your transformation. That's why the words got to be made flesh.